and welcome to Sweet Statistics. I'm Nicole Alioto. This week we'll explore reliability with banana bread.
Hooray!
Reliability is consistency of a measure. So it could be over time, over method, over score, while validity is accuracy of the insights we can make. I want to make this distinction first. Let's say I'm enjoying this tasty treat from start to finish. Now, I'm consistent in my evaluation. It tastes just as good as when I started to when I'm getting close to being finished. However, in my evaluation of banana bread, I come to find out that it's zucchini bread. So it's consistent in its taste from start to finish, but it's not accurate as a measure of banana bread quality. What if we are accurate and we make banana bread, but it's different every time we make it? Then we are accurate, but not consistent. We want to be both in our measurement of constructs. We want to be able to consistently measure opinions, perceptions, skills, etc. And we want to make sure we can make accurate inferences. To be as consistent and accurate as possible, we need to reduce error. As we discuss each type of reliability, we'll talk about ways to reduce error and improve our ability to be consistent. The first type of reliability we'll talk about is parallel forms reliability. Are different forms of the same instrument yielding similar results? In our banana bread example, we created one banana bread in a glass loaf pan and one in a metal pan. Are the results similar? Perhaps I have an item pool that I think all will measure a certain set of skills. I take 10 items and put them into form A, and I take another 10 items and put them into form B. Are the results similar across forms? So how can I reduce error here to ensure that my results will be consistent across forms? On a test, I want to make sure that the items are designed to measure the same skills regardless if I'm putting them on form A or form B, and that easy items didn't end up on form A while more challenging items ended up on form B. Similarly, when I'm making banana bread, I want to make sure, regardless if I'm using a glass loaf pan or a metal loaf pan, that I'm consistent in the amount of batter that I'm putting in each one. Next, we'll talk about test-retest reliability. If I make it today and make it in the future, will the results be consistent? Let's say I'm tasting this banana bread recipe today, and it's pretty good. Now, when future me tries this recipe, will the results be the same? If the results are related, then we have test-retest reliability. The results are consistent over time. If I give a personality or intelligence test, I want it to function the same whether or not I give it today, a week from today, a month from today, a year from today. Now, changes to the instrument or to the recipe could impact our results. Changes in environment can impact the results as well. If I make this recipe in high altitude, or if something has to be substituted because it's not available in the future, then I won't be consistent from time to time. Similarly, if you give an assessment and you change the conditions by which that assessment is administered, it could make the results unreliable. Internal consistency is looking at items within a measure. For our banana bread, if I cut this loaf into 1-inch squares, will each square taste the same as every other square? When we have survey items, let's use an example of a 10-item survey, and let's use these 10 items to measure engagement. We assess internal consistency by checking each pair of items against one another, and then we compile a summary statistic like Cronbach's alpha. We use Cronbach's alpha to determine if we've achieved a minimum level of internal consistency. So how do we improve internal consistency? We can remove items that do not contribute to the overall measure of internal consistency. And if our internal consistency isn't strong, it could mean that we have multiple constructs being measured within our one scale. For our banana bread, it could be a mixing issue. Maybe we have a clump here and not a clump there. Wouldn't do that. So the bottom line is you need to have the right mix. Another way to check internal consistency is split half reliability. For our banana bread, let's cut it in half and see if one half is similar to the other half. Are they related? Are they similar? For an assessment, you can take the score from the first half of items and compare it to the score from the second half of items. If your assessment or survey is too long, you might have fatigue setting in, and you might have more consistent and useful information from the early half, and maybe less helpful information from the second half. And you can imagine in the banana bread example, What if I made this banana bread in a wonky oven and it didn't cook consistently through? Maybe I'd have one half was cooked very well and one half was still a little raw. So you can set up everything for success, but still have some challenges with consistency. How can I improve this? Well, you can pilot test the instrument or the oven in this example, and then check to see if things are produced as expected before putting them into practice. Now let's talk about Interrater reliability or consistency among scorers. Do you ever watch the Olympics and think, are these judges watching the same thing? How are the scores so different? If the scores are not consistent, then we do not have good Interrater reliability. Will different evaluators score the banana bread differently? What are the criteria? We can ask, do you like it? Which is a rather subjective preference.
Please continue to hold.
I like it. Let's see if negative Nicole likes it. So if our evaluation tool is lacking clarity or enough specificity as to what's being measured, then we will have greater chance of error. Now, typically a rubric would be designed to assess skills with a more objective set of criteria. If I create a banana bread rubric, I could ask my judges to evaluate appearance, taste, smell, texture. Will the results be more consistent? Appearance, smell, taste, I already tasted it, and texture. Let's see what negative Nicole thinks. So with more clearly defined scoring criteria, we can have better Interrater reliability. I hope you had fun and learned a little bit about reliability this week. We put our recipe for vegan banana bread in the description box, and I put the link to the blog post where I found this delicious zucchini bread recipe in the description box. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss another episode of Sweet Statistics. Have a significant day.